hope you've been waiting for this moment because I know I have. This is the final part of making my chaperone Halloween costume. Last time I completed my redesign and did some sewing. This is where everything fully kicks into gear now. My first step was to finish the skirt. I gathered the pieces of fabric together, sewed them together, and then attached them to the skirt. Keep in mind I'm doing this all while recovering from wrist surgery. So the first side was completed and then I had to move on to the second. And I have purposely left out majority of my sewing as I am not a seamstress, I cannot sew. So I just had to get creative and wing it. Once both sides were sewn on, I decided that it was time to get creative. So I added my florals, my pearls, and it was all done. I was very happy with how the skirt turned out, but it wasn't finished yet. I then moved on to the panels for my bodysuit. The idea for this was to just make something that I could like pin on and then remove, but I hated how it looked. It was too big and bulky, so the next morning I got to work. I decided to make it a lot smaller and I preferred that. I still wasn't sure about the colouring, so I tried the purple and decided that that would be much better. To try and make it somewhat even as well, I decided to trace out a pattern on the bodysuit, which was actually terrifying. I'd made sure to stretch out the bodysuit and pin it down before getting started. I honestly went through so much hot glue for this project. Doing the smaller purple flowers was the best decision I made. It really saved this costume, to be honest. My fingers were also numb because of the amount of times I burnt them with hot glue. And to be honest, my wrist was also in agony. But I was so determined to get this done. Once I decided I was happy with the flowers, I coloured in the hot glue just to make sure it blends. The final bit of the project was the tassels on the bodysuit. I really didn't want the end to just be straight, so I cut out some triangles. I then decorated the top 2 layers and that was it. Simple but effective. This was the last thing that I had to do for the costume and I was so incredibly proud of myself. The process took me 3 days and a lot of second guessing every single decision that I made. So without further ado, I introduce you my chaperone costume.